The city was alive with the noise of morning rush, cars honking, people hurrying, and the smell of fresh pastries filling the air. Ethan Clark, a millionaire businessman known for his sharp mind and colder heart, stepped out of his black luxury car. He was on his way to an important meeting when something unusual caught his attention, a small cake stall on the corner of the street. A young woman stood behind it, her hair tied in a simple bun, her clothes modest yet neat. Two little girls stood beside her, helping pack the cakes with their tiny hands. Ethan slowed his pace, something inside him stirring as he saw their faces. The girls looked familiar. Too familiar. Their hazel eyes, the dimple on the left cheek, everything mirrored his own childhood photos. His breath caught. The woman turned, and Ethan froze. It was Lila, his ex-wife. For a moment, the world around him faded into silence. He couldn't move, couldn't think. He had left Lila 5 years ago, choosing business over love. She had begged him to stay, to believe that love was worth more than money, but he had walked away, thinking success would fill the emptiness. Now, standing there, seeing her on the street with two little girls who looked exactly like him, Ethan felt his chest tighten. He stepped forward slowly. "Lila," he said, his voice trembling. Lila looked up, her eyes widening in shock. The cakes in her hand slipped a little before she steadied herself. "Ethan," she whispered. The little girls turned to look at the stranger, curiosity shining in their eyes. Ethan tried to speak, but words failed him. He glanced between the two children. "Are they?" Lila sighed, her gaze lowering to the cakes. "Yes," she said quietly. "They're yours." The weight of that truth hit him like a storm. His heart raced, guilt flooding every corner of his soul. He crouched down to the girl's level, his voice soft. "What are your names?" "I'm Lily," said the first, smiling shyly. "And I'm Lucy," said the other, giggling as she clutched her mother's hand. Ethan felt tears sting his eyes. He had missed their first words, their first steps, their laughter, all because of his pride. He looked back at Lila. "Why didn't you tell me?" She looked away, eyes glistening. "When you left, you said you never wanted to see me again. I found out I was pregnant a month later. I didn't want to chase you. I decided to raise them alone." Ethan's throat tightened. He looked around, the busy street, the small cart, the sweat on Lila's forehead from hours of work. She had been through so much, while he had been sitting in glass offices surrounded by wealth. He pulled out his wallet, but Lila stopped him. "Don't," she said firmly. "I'm not here for your money, Ethan. I sell cakes to give my daughters a decent life, not charity." Ethan felt ashamed. "I don't want to buy your cakes," he said softly. "I want to make things right." Lila looked at him skeptically. "You can't just walk back into our lives after 5 years and fix everything." "I know," he said. "But please, let me try." There was a long silence between them. The girls watched quietly, sensing something important happening. Finally, Lila sighed. "They've always asked about their father," she said. "I told them he was far away, chasing his dreams." Ethan's eyes softened. "I stopped chasing dreams the day I realized I lost mine." Lila blinked away tears. She had never heard him speak like that before. Maybe time had changed him. "Come," Ethan said gently. "Let me take you home. Let me at least give them a proper meal today." At first, Lila hesitated, but then Lily tugged her hand. "Mommy, can we go with him? He looks nice." Lila's heart melted. She finally nodded. Ethan smiled through his tears. They sat together at a nearby cafe. For the first time in years, laughter filled Ethan's world again. The girls told him stories about school, their favorite cartoons, and how they helped their mom bake cakes every morning. Ethan listened to every word like a man hearing music after years of silence. When it was time to leave, Ethan turned to Lila. "You don't have to sell cakes on the street anymore. Let me help you build a bakery. You're talented, Lila. You deserve more." Lila hesitated. "And what about us?" Ethan met her eyes, filled with sincerity. "I don't want to just build a bakery. I want to rebuild our family, if you'll let me." Lila's lips trembled as she tried to hold back tears. For the first time in a long while, she saw the men she had fallen in love with, not the cold businessman he had become. The girls hugged their mother, smiling. "Mommy, can we have Daddy stay with us?" Lila nodded slowly, a tear falling down her cheek. "Yes, my loves. I think he's already home." Ethan reached out, holding them all close. The world around them kept moving, but for that one moment, everything was still, simple, pure, and filled with love. From that day forward, the cake stall became a beautiful bakery, with a sign that read, "Lily and Lucy's Sweet Home." And behind the counter stood a family, stronger than ever.